doing that, then welcome to my channel. My name is Stefania if you're new here. So today we're going to be going over the new Jaclyn Cosmetics Bougie Rouge collection. I feel like this has been a year of blushes, but I was still super excited about this. So I definitely got an array of different products. She came out with like a stick blush, a cream, also a like mood light type one, as well as the palettes. So definitely a lot to go over, and I do individual swatches so you guys can really see what they look like on the face. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get to this video. I would really appreciate if you consider subscribing, hitting that like button, and let's go ahead and jump into this. Okay, let's dive into this. So I don't even know where to start, but I think we'll start with like, I got a cream blush, I got one of the mood ones, and then I got the Rouge Romance. I got the warmer tone one. There's a warm tone and a cool tone one. For me, I just like, you guys, I've been waiting for peach blushes. Like, I feel like, yes, this has been like the year of blushes, but I feel like true peaches, like I feel like they're all like corally peach, but just not hitting that mark of just like, I love peach blush, especially in the summertime. That and neutral blushes are kind of like my go-tos. I don't do a lot of like mauve-y, rosy tones. So, but the other palette did look gorgeous. I will say that. I just was, you know, one's probably good enough. So this is what it looks like on the inside. I feel like it's pretty. I really like the packaging of this. I do get how some people were like, okay, this doesn't really go with her brand. But to me, like when I think of collections, I'm like, most brands don't have everything that goes together. So I don't really mind it. I also get it though, because I'm like excited about the packaging of this one too, because this is like just classic. But I feel like this was something nice and fun. So let's go ahead and dive into this. I want to try this one out first. This is like Luminous Rouge Blush Rouge. This is more of that like loose powder blush, which I know like Bare Minerals has some. I don't know what other companies, but it's definitely not something you see all the time. That's for sure. And my thing is like, I just don't know if it's going to be too, you guys know me, like I have texture on my cheeks, and I wanted more shades of this, but I was like, let's see. But look how pretty and stunning this packaging is with the J and the like peach colored. Yes. I mean, is it a surprise? I did get Loverboy. It was like LOML, which was like a darker, I think a little bit darker. It was really hard to tell the difference in those two shades. So I was like, let's just see if I like the formula first. And then I might even like the watermelon ones. But I was like, I want to mess with it a little bit. Does anyone else, when it comes to like sifters, I open them halfway. I was like, I'm not going to open it the full way. But I want to try this on the face first. I don't have any foundation on. I will do that eventually, but I wanted to like play around with these a little bit and show you guys rather than just swatching them on my arm. So hopefully it's a little bit more useful, even though, you know, just pretend that my face looks great on its own. Okay, so I didn't put that much in the cap. I'm like, am I sitting? I'm not sitting under a fan. I'm like always worried about like loose products like blowing away. So we're gonna, you know, this is meant to be layered is what she said, but I kind of want to just see what type of payoff it gives just by itself. And then we will try it on the other side layered. So let me zoom you guys on in. All right, I had to like wait an hour to film this. My car was 125 degrees from like getting out of the grocery store, and I was like, I'm gonna die this summer. That's what's gonna happen to me. And you know, obviously keep in mind, like my face is moisturized, but we don't have any base products on, which I'm usually fine with that with cream products. Sometimes with dry ones, you just don't know. It doesn't usually look the best, as opposed to like creams just tend to kind of fill that space. So right now, I feel like I'm getting a sheen of it, but definitely not like intense. And like I said, this is the shade Loverboy. What do you guys think? I don't feel like there's a huge difference between this side to that side right now. And I definitely don't feel like it's, I mean, I'm happy that it doesn't seem like overly shiny. I was kind of like, is it going to be on that side of like a highlight, you know, because it's not really my vibe. Sorry, I just wanted the noise. So but no, it's not. All right, let's do the other blush on this side. We're gonna do the cream. Like I said, I think creams just look better when on days where I don't wear foundation, which is quite a bit. Usually I'm just more like sunscreen and I'll throw on a blush. But this is the packaging of the actual cream. It's like, does it, okay, it twists up. It like almost, just because I got the new Mario ones where like it comes off into a brush, I was like, it looks like such a separation here that I was like, does it do something? This packaging, I'll be honest, it doesn't feel as luxe as everything else. It's very lightweight. It doesn't feel like you're holding like something heavy, which everyone's different. Okay, that's definitely some color. I was a little nervous because sometimes these shades also don't show up that great on my skin. Like I have the Melt Cosmetics one and it doesn't do much for me. Oh, I love this shade. Yes. I will say this is definitely, I mean, it's not supposed to give a dewy finish. I think they are called like cream to powder. So yeah, cream to powder blush stick transforms on skin for a gorgeous effortless wash of color. So it's not claiming to be dewy, and I will say like as soon as I blended that out, it really feels like a powder. It doesn't really feel like there is zero stickiness at all. To where like usually with blushes, if I was to use like a Glossier or anything else, like I can feel it. I'm just trying to make sure I blend it all out because I do notice that I have like one little dry spot where it's like clinging just a little bit. But yeah, interesting. I mean, I know it's called cream to powder, but I was still interested that it did that. I never had that happen before, so. And right now, the palette is still on the website. Both palettes are still on the website. But I really like that she came out with two different theme palettes. I appreciate that. That way, like this truly feels like I might actually get use out of the entire palette as opposed to like half, which is what I usually use because half is usually on the shades that I don't use. We'll just kind of see how intense they are. But yeah, this definitely, what do you guys think? Like this side, I still feel like I can't tell that I put anything on it. It just looks like I was out in the sun. And I'm gonna kind of put it higher up as if we were putting on like a highlight. So I'm gonna kind of put it on up over here. I mean, in terms of the way it feels great. I love clicking the powder out. Only when I have time though. When I don't have time, I get really upset with it. So I want to just turn down the lighting so you guys can truly see. Obviously this side is more intense than this side. Like I said, sometimes I just want to wash a color, but I do feel like that was very like, let's try one more time because I really wanted the watermelon-y type shade as well. Not love language. So I'm gonna do just a little bit more because I kind of was like, oh, if I could just use that on its own, it's worth buying. But for $30, I don't know if this really adds that much to it, but I love the freaking package. I'm like, it's so pretty, and I like the concept of it. So let's try it again. Let's try it. I'm gonna put all of that, which I know doesn't like look like much, but considering it's a loose powder, like it's definitely on the brush. I can tell I'm picking it up. Yeah, I mean, I would say you could build it up, but so far I'm more impressed with just the cream to blush stick than I am with the luminous. I thought it was gonna be just add a little bit more luminosity than it is. It's not, which I mean, in a way, I'm like, it's not adding texture to my skin, which is great, but it's not adding anything extra to me where I'm like, oh, the loose one is like really standing out, especially considering it's the most expensive since it's just the one product. So I'm going to take this off and then we'll play with at least two of the shades again on bare skin of the actual palette, and then I'll put on foundation and do the whole thing. Okay, pulled out some old blush brushes. So I didn't realize I had so many, and now I'm just getting sad looking at the Marc Jacobs one because I'm just like, oh, I'm just really sad about the whole situation. I really like Marc Jacobs. So anyways, let's see here. So when I initially look at this, I feel like this boudoir shade could be quite intimidating, as well as Ever After. and tea room. There was quite a few where I'm just kind of like, what kind of pigmentation are we going to get out of here? So let's go ahead and go in Fancy Pants. I love all these shades. That's bottom line. But let's go in with the scarier ones. So let's start with Ever After. Let's go in with this one. And we'll take the Marc Jacobs brush. This definitely feels more like her though. I was really surprised that Jaclyn, like, I have the duos, the blush and the bronzer duos, and I've kind of talked about that. They weren't my favorite. And for me, I was like, Jaclyn loves blush. I was like, how is this is it? You know, like, and then she came out with this collection. I was like, no, that's her. Like, I was like, I don't know what those were, but like, I had to build so much, and I just feel like it was really, like, they really only worked for paler skin tones. So I was so happy she came out with this, because I was like, this isn't the Jaclyn that I thought I knew, in terms of, like, blushes. So I hope that she kind of goes more with this route, where she was like, this was a passion product. I'm like, go where the passion is, you know, because if this is what she comes out with, that's, you know, this is what I want from her brand for sure. So definitely not too intense, right? Like, I'm like I said, I'm using the Ever After shade right now, so I'm pretty happy about it. Like, definitely buildable. Like, we'll build these up just because we're here right now, and like I said, it's not that they're without foundation on. Powder blushes just don't look that great, but I just wanted to see the, like, play with the actual shades first, rather than just showing you guys one shade or like two shades mixed. I always get like really frustrated with that. So, but this is a really pretty color. I mean, I definitely feel like it's pushing a little bit in terms of like what I'm comfortable wearing, but with the right look, or if I just wanted to do this and just make this like a focal point, I can do that. I'm gonna grab a different brush. Okay. And let's go in with Boudoir. Which reminded me, like, now I'm 5.5 months pregnant, you know, can't really go take boudoir pictures. But I kept getting emails because I had signed up for them like a year ago before COVID started. I was like, I'm going to do that for myself. I never did. Now I'm like, forget it. Like, that's not happening. At least in the near future. So, this one is definitely more of like that watermelon-y type tone. I feel like this one's just a little bit deeper. But I think if you wanted to, like, this one built up way faster, and because it could also be the brush, you know. But I wouldn't say this one's my favorite shade. I like this one actually over this one. Like I said, I'm not into like pinks that much. And let's go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and go into. You know what? I'm gonna take this off. We're gonna do one more swatch of Tea Room as well as like Tempting, that way you guys can really see all the shades, okay? Because I want to see them too. Okay, last two. So, man, if anything this has taught me is that I don't need any more blush brushes. I did go ahead and put some foundation just on my cheeks because I felt like my face was just getting red from rubbing, and then I didn't want it to make it seem like you couldn't see the true color. So, I want to go in with Tea Room and Tempting, and then when I do my actual makeup, I will go in with Fancy Pants because I feel like this color looks gorgeous. So. Or we'll mix two or whatever. So let's go ahead and go in with those two. So let's start with Tea Room, which is the orangey shade. Like definitely the hot orange of the bunch. But I do feel like this could serve a variety of skin tones. Like this is definitely, they're pigmented blushes. I'd say if you're on the, if you don't like pigmented blushes, just know you're going to get pigment. But I still feel like it's controllable. Like even if I just wanted to do that much, I don't feel like that was like crazy intense where I'm like, oh my gosh, like what am I going to do? Because I am scared of blushes still. I've gotten better, but obviously I've definitely grown a freaking collection after this year. But like, I'm still not that comfortable wearing like a whole lot of blush. So definitely, I did think this one was going to be more orange just in the pan, just looking at, you know, from here to here. I do feel like it's still pulling a little bit more onto that pinky side, but I'm not mad about it. It still is watermelon. What I'm getting is probably that like you don't need a lot of the products, you know? So we'll go over that obviously. And then let's go in with Tempting, which is like the more muted tone, which I like that she did both in here. Like I think this one's gonna be like a lot of people's like everyday color, whereas most of the colors in here, like I feel like you might want to really think about the look you're doing type thing, whereas like this is just gonna be more where like I don't have to think about it, I'm just gonna go into that palette and grab it type one. So that's a pretty one. That's definitely like an everyday, like rosy, but not too rosy. Still definitely on the warmer side. I'll turn the light so you guys can see. And that is the shade Tea Room, which is that orange, and then Tempting, which is more of that like mauve-y type tone. So this one. All right, obviously face all done. I feel much more put together. But yeah, let's go ahead and go in with these shades. So I want to go in with Fancy Pants. It looks more just like a hotter pink, if you will. Like I said, I think these are just great for summer. When I only get my lashes done when I'm about to go on a trip, so, or you know what I mean, like a lot of pictures type thing. And then I kind of just leave my eyes as is. Like I'm just like, this is good enough. So these are gonna come in handy for sure. I would say the only thing I feel about it is like, I feel like the palette pulls more pink than I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna pull more orange, but not in a bad way. Like I'm not upset about it by any means. I like this more. You guys know I love cream blushes, but I only got one because I just feel like I have so many and they go bad so fast, where it's like, I have some blush palettes I've been using for like 5 years, okay? I'm not gonna lie. So to me, I just feel like the investment is just more worth it. So that's where I'm coming from on like being like, you know what? It's a little bit different when you buy products that are gonna stay, you know, that you can use for a long time. And maybe that's just me, but that's how I feel about it. That definitely built up very fast. I'm using the Classic Cheek, and I think that was just a little bit much. So I do actually though, I'm gonna go in with Pretty Posh, which is the lightest shade of the palette, just to see if I'm sure it will show up at this point now that we've kind of gone through the rest, where I'm just like, yeah, these are all pigmented shades. I would say if you're fair skinned, just be very, very light-handed, you know? That's a really pretty one. The Pretty Posh, definitely, I think the names are so cute, but I'm like, that's definitely more of an everyday type shade. Just meaning like it's not intimidating, can go with a lot of things is what I mean by everyday type shade. So that is what they look like. I am gonna swirl them together a little bit, that way I can even out. Not that I have a lot of places to go. I have to, I want to go to Barnes & Noble. Pick up a book before I go on my trip so that I have something to read. I think I'm going to read Shadow and Bone. I like teenager books like that. I just finished Discovery of Witches. I don't care how old I get, okay? Because it just makes me happy. I don't like to read sad, depressing books. I can never be part of a book club because I'm just like, I don't like adult stuff, okay? Movies, sure, but not books. Not the same thing. All right. I feel very, very blushed. And I'm kind of like, we'll go in with a tad of this just because it's here. But blush usually does fade. We'll see how long this lasts. But I think $45 for the palette is pretty fair. The $22 blush stick I felt like was pretty on par. I would say the only thing not that I'm disappointed in this, but I wanted a little bit more from it. Okay, I'll just be honest. And maybe that's like, I should have gotten the deeper shade, but it doesn't seem like it's anything where I really want to go pull that trigger, because they are still in stock right now. And I was like, if I like it, I'm going to go and buy the other shades of this. But I don't think I would maybe buy another one on sale. I don't think I'll pay full price for it unless like I wear this for a few hours and realize like it's doing something amazing for me. But right now, I don't feel that way about it, where I'm just kind of like, I'm glad I got one for the time being. I don't know, just more like that glow within. That glow within that she's always talking about. Like, I thought this was going to be one of those products. Let me turn on the lighting so you guys can like see everything very for what it is, like I said. I feel very blushed. Like before I go to Barnes & Noble's, I will be buffing this out a little bit for sure. Okay, so overall, what do I think? I think that if you really like are gonna pick one out of the lineup, I would say go with the palette. I just feel like the palette is by far the most interesting product. And just with the tones, I just feel like most of them kind of, they all go together, which is, you know, if you love to layer, but to me, I feel like they're pigmented enough where you don't really need to layer a lot of the different products. So to me, I would kind of just go with this one because you kind of get more bang for your buck. It is $45, but I think for, you know, 6 shades, that's pretty normal. And like I said, I'm digging the packaging. I really don't mind it. I think it's pretty. And I like that it's something a little bit different, you know? So I hope she keeps doing passion products though, because I'm just like, this is more of what I wanted her brand to be, and to see like this goes perfectly with the actual Jaclyn Hill palette from Morphe collab that she did, like the second one. I just feel like all those like neon-y oranges definitely go with this. But I like that there's still some shades in here where like, maybe you don't want to be that intense. Like right now, I feel very intense, which is funny because I love that like blush all over look on other people. And I'm just like, I don't know. Is that more of like a picture thing, or do people do that in real life? So I just think that if you have this, you don't really need the other products. Because like I said, they are pretty similar to each other in terms of like, you wouldn't be able to tell the color difference. I would say I'm a little bit disappointed in this. Like, I'm going to keep using it. Maybe I just didn't find the right way to use it, but I just thought it was going to make a bigger impact. I thought maybe I'd like wouldn't really need a highlight because I could just kind of like go up here in this area and it wouldn't, I don't know what I thought. I love the packaging. Okay, I got suckered in, but I don't think it's worth getting multiple shades of, unless you do, and if you have them, let me know what you think. And then this, I'm okay about it. I think if you, no, that's not good. I love the color. The color is everything I want it to be in Swoon. Like that perfect orange. Yes. But because it is that cream to powder, it doesn't really give your cheeks that dewy effect. So I think maybe people that with oilier skin, you might love this because, you know, maybe you have a trouble with cream blushes just kind of sliding around. But for me, I like one that stays, I don't want to say tacky, but just a little bit more of that dewiness. So for me, I think it's just not my favorite in terms of like the cream blushes I have, even though if it was just going off the shade, love it. But for drier skin, I would say maybe, you know, to me it really did look like a powder. So I, again, felt like I have it in here. So I guess to each their own. Overall though, I think it was a great collection. I think this has been the best thing from her to come out since probably the highlights, in terms of like wanting to use it all the time. And it did come with some lip products. I'm not really a pinky rosy lip person. I like my light nude pinks, and so I might end up getting one eventually, but it just wasn't something that was like really calling my name. I wanted to see more swatches. So that's kind of how I feel about those, where I'm just like, I don't know if those are my tones. What I say is like the things that I'm on the fence about, I'm always like, let's wait till they come to Ulta so I can see it in person, or in case I don't like it, I can exchange it, that type of thing. Whereas like, you know, obviously this stuff is only on our website right now, and it will be coming in August. So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts though. Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys pick up anything? Are you blushed out? Like all that good stuff? Leave me a comment down below. Please don't forget to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. Hit that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.